Richard Bromley joins Campbell's comments now from Akaroa or Banks Peninsula. Firstly, mate, what an absolute ripper setup this is, and beautiful venue to come and watch harness racing at its purest.
Absolutely there, Paul. I mean, probably the worst thing, there's only 6 times a year it's used. 6 times for the Mott and 1 for Akaroa, so 7 times throughout the season it's used. But every time it is used, the people turn up, the horses turn up. It's a great venue.
As far as the track, tracks, I think funny about grass track and all the rest. How does the form stack up, and how hard is it for the punters and that out there to do the form?
I suppose historically it's always a good idea to. I mean, the betting is very good on grass track racing because it's an even betting field. I mean, like a lot of people sort of think that the speed's taken out of a lot of the horses, therefore it's a more even keel. Like the lesser horses can win, sort of thing. So to weigh up the form, that can be quite sort of difficult. But that's why a lot of punters in New Zealand, they like the grass track statistics, which is, I mean, like you can back a grass track horse with confidence here on the big grass track.
And throw you under the bus, but Cam Bray, who is he's actually the president, isn't he? He's El Presidente or something now they call him here at here, tells me the turnover is massive on the grass tracks. I think outside your main metropolitan races, like it's nearly grass track racing after that is second, and then you go back to your traditional dirt racing as far as TAB turnover on meetings. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, like most grass track meetings will access 1.2 million quite easily. Like last week at Geraldine, where it's a 12 race cut, they did 1.2 million. Grass track in the middle of the summer, like for example the 29th of November, December meeting coming up at Banks, they'll probably nearly do $2 million off course. So the turnover on grass tracks is sublime.
And that's where they park over the back of the hill, and you nearly need a ferry to get yourself in here.
Well, if you look around to the 1,000 metre mark, 800 metre mark, they're parked around to that area there. You just at the corner of our eye, the 800, cars are parked around to there on the 29th. They'll get a crowd of about 10,000 here on the 29th of December. It's huge.
Serious? That's Cam showed me. He showed me down the straight. He didn't tell me about it. Yep. Going that far around.
Yeah, they're parked right around to the 800 metre mark. It's just a massive day. The queues on the road, they're parked up halfway to Hallsville to get in there. So it's a big day. So looking forward to that day.
Oh, I bet. And it is a lot of fun. You do on-course announcing at every meeting. You wear a few hats, though. You're as good as me, although you haven't got one on. I have to because the sun is out of touch and it's no good for my complexion. Where did the love of harness racing start for you?
I suppose just through my dad. I mean, like he's a part-time sort of hobby trainer. Sort of followed in his footsteps. He sort of annoyed the bloke down the road years ago, and I did the same sort of thing. Like the two brothers, and I was the only one that sort of grabbed the harness racing love and sort of annoyed him, and sort of followed in his footsteps.
And you go around, you do the announcing as the runners go out, make sure people know, keep up to date, on track, almost MC.
Yeah, from most of the central Canterbury sort of regions, from Kaikoura down to Timaru. So yeah, really enjoy it.
And you enjoy that side of it?
I absolutely love it. Yeah, absolutely love it.
I do a little bit at home, and it's fun, and you can get some great engagement with the participants, can't you?
Oh, you do. I mean, a lot of the trainers and drivers are very good. Of course, when there is sort of post-race interviews, there's a bit of a banter there, you know. So some people sort of vie away from it, but most of them they love it. So it's a lot of fun.
It is indeed, and we actually did time it well because there is a race going to go past. I was hoping I could time it that way, that tease and get people into it, and beautifully as they go past the IRT mobile goes past. So. You said there before to me, though, that, and this is one thing that I think a lot of the Aussies would get a bit of a shock at, though, that there's no dedicated radio. You do have SEN, but even in itself, there's no dedicated radio station like we have over in Australia to purely to racing.
No, that sort of fell by the wayside as COVID hit, sort of early March, sort of 2020, that went by the wayside. There is, as you know, more small segments on SENZ, but no dedicated racing channel like there used to be, which is a big loss to the industry.
It is, and is that a worry? Like to try and make people aware of these sort of meetings and get the promotion out there?
I suppose it is, because that did promote meetings prior to it, and so it's a bit embarrassing when you come to the races, you walk past someone that's just won a race, you don't know. Of course, if you're listening to the radio and you're on the way to the races, you'd know. So there was a lot of promotion work before then, so it's probably one of the detrimental things about it. Yes,
we go all digital. Like I go on social media. What I put up on social media, and people say but we still need. Unfortunately, we need the paper. I don't read a paper. I wouldn't have bought a paper for 30 years. But we actually still need the paper because there are a lot of people that just traditionally buy the paper and traditionally listen to the radio.
Oh, they do. I mean, they buy the paper and turn the wireless on to the old radio channel and listen to it wherever you are. Going to the races, in the garden, wherever you are. I mean, that was a dedicated 24-hour, 7-day-a-week radio channel, so people do miss it.
I just had a right giggle. I listen to more New Zealand racing in my car than what you guys do.
You probably do. That's a very good point. I mean, like, only on a Saturday afternoon you listen to it on the radio, but via a digital, concept. So,
the other part you just said to me there before is that also you have to, I suppose, coordinate a lot. Is that the right word to put it? Organise like these race meetings. People nominate through you. You've got to work with quite a few clubs.
Yeah. All the sort of the country sort of clubs via Kaikoura down to Timaru sort of do the nominations, put the fields together, driver scratchings, which is I enjoy that as well, so it's good fun.
Wry grin there on your face.
Yeah, no, because you get told a lot of information, but you forget it all.
It's a bit of my job. I ask people their name before I start, and then I actually forget as soon as I'm halfway through the interview. But it is fun. The way harness racing's heading here in New Zealand, do you enjoy that side of it?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people sort of said it's sort of not going the right direction, but with a few tweaks here and there, I mean, there's such great people, as you know, involved in the harness racing game, so I think that'll keep that thriving and going forward.
I'm the same, and I've had this conversation. People say, "Oh, you got it great in Australia," and I'm like, honestly, yeah, I came here and I'm just so envious of what you guys do have.
Yeah, as you say, there's some great people involved, so we do it well. So you've got to take your hats off to a lot of the country clubs like the one today. They sort of keep the industry sort of ticking.
Yeah, and highlighted a lot. Another of those races there. What's about 10 horses going across the line together? It's just brilliant racing, isn't it?
That's what you like. That's the great thing about harness racing and the grass track racing. They'll go the line locked together, and you've got the big roomy straights to make you run. So there's always live chances halfway down the straight. So
I'm trying to get people to come over here for Cup fortnight. I'm not going to go for the Kaikoura. And then we've got this Grand Prix and that. Anyone comes, here's the dulcet tones. This is the man. And I will say, you got a very easy voice to listen to. It's actually good, but it is refreshing. We used to have a couple of sounds, I suppose, play at certain tracks. We wiped all that away, but I think it's great to come here and actually hear you announcing the horses and what's going on behind. So, mate, thanks for joining me. Thanks for everything you do, and thanks for picking me up there before. It was all very good.
No worries, all, mate. Appreciate that.
Thank you.